Good afternoon. This is Troy Moldy with the Pride Group, and I'm here with Jeremy Peterson, and we are doing our monthly outreach for the month of May 2016. And today we're going to cover a topic called utility activation. It's a question that agents frequently call and ask questions on: how do the utilities get activated and what's that process? So with that, let's dig in. The first thing that you always want to do on a HUD property is look and see what's going on with the disclosure. So if this was a property that I was going to be bidding on, I would come to this and look at this house, and I would see over here that it says insured with escrow, meaning that something's going on with this property. It's nice enough that FHA is willing to insure it, but it's got an escrow repair. So let's take a look and dig into that. I open up the addendums tab and I click on the disclosure. I've already had it uploaded here, so I'll just drag this onto the screen. And you can see here repair damage plumbing. So that would be utility, and I see down here that the water may not be activated for inspection. Super, super, super important. I'm going to talk about this for 1 second. That if you are using a type of financing that requires water to be activated, it is not going to be turned on at any point prior to closing. The seller will not fix it, and the seller will not give you permission to fix it, and they're not going to allow you to turn the water on. So you need to stop right here. If your financing requires that you have water turned on, you're going to have to switch to do a type of financing that'll work with the water not being turned on. A lot of people use the 203B with escrow repair. It is not the Rehab 203K loan. It's very similar to your standard FHA product that many of you are accustomed to using. The only difference is that it has an escrow repair. It is a buyer's expense. You can roll the expenses into the loan up to 110% or $5,000, whichever's less. So once I've identified that the water can or can't be turned on, then I can proceed forward. So with that, let's move on to the utility activation. So you put your bid in on the property, and your bid is accepted. You get all your paperwork filled out. You drop the earnest money check off to the listing agent, and then you overnight your package to Texas, the asset manager. The asset manager signs your contracts and emails you back. So that's where you need to get to in order to get permission to have utility activation. Once you have that email that's sent to you, you're going to get a little paragraph that gives you instructions on how you go about turning on your utilities. Utility activation. So this will be in that email with your ratified contract. Selling brokers and buyers are responsible for utility activation, home inspection, rewinterization. Selling broker is the buyer's agent. Sometimes that gets confusing and they think selling brokers is the seller's agent. They're not saying that. They're saying that the buyer's agent and the buyer are the only ones who are going to be given permission to turn on the utilities. So you'll go through and you're going to go on here, fill out the permission slip form, and you're going to send that in. And the field service manager, that's a parallel contractor to the asset manager and myself. I have no say with them. It's a totally different contract. Up to them how they do it. They will email you back with the permission slip, and then you can go ahead and turn the utilities on in the buyer's name for 72 hours. It's also important to note that, and this has happened, is sometimes buyers will not comply with procedure. They will leave the utilities on and then fail to close, forget that they had the utilities on, and 3-4 months later they'll get a big bill, and then they'll call me and ask for reimbursement or ask me to pay for it. And there's no procedure to reimburse non-compliance to this process. So important that if a person were to forget or leave the utilities on longer, it's a buyer's expense. So you would call the electric company, gas company, water company, um, and sometimes the water company requires that they come out and turn the water on with you. For me, when I'm doing it, you have plenty of time to get this done. 15 days from the time that your um, contract is ratified. So what I would do is probably schedule it out 10 days. I would tell the lender to get the appraiser ready because you're going to want to get this appraised while you're having the utilities on. And I would call a plumber and I would schedule to have a plumber meet me at the house to activate the water. And the day before, I would turn the gas on. I would have somebody there meet me to turn the furnace on, like a contractor, and then that way. And the reason I turn the furnace and the electric on at the same time is I want that house to get nice and warm, especially if it's in the winter. I don't want cold water running through or hot or water running through a cold home in case of a break. Because once you activate utilities, the buyer's agent and the buyer are responsible for damages if they cause any. And then the next day, after I have that house heated for 24 hours, I'm going to get a plumber to meet me out there and turn the water on. And then I would do my inspection that following day and have my home inspector there to go through everything when everything's on. And then I would hopefully be able to have that appraisal done in that same time. So it is a tight time frame. It seems to be one of the things that people struggle a lot with, but it does get done all the time. And that is the utility activation process. And once again, if you guys have any questions on how that works, you can always get a hold of myself or Jeremy here. And then, Jeremy, do you have anything that you want to add? No, just make sure that you're being real diligent when you're turning on the utilities so that nothing happens. All right, that's it from Jeremy. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and we will see you guys next month.